Hello, welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's a match preview of West Ham United against Everton. Gonzo, as always, kicking off with your thoughts on the opposition, please.
They've spent a lot of money, not always wisely, it has to be said. A fool and his money are easily parted, and I think that might be the case with the owner there. Not I'm calling him a fool, but I think they probably need to structure the way they spend money a little bit better than they have in the past. That being said, they've made some good signings. James Rodriguez being one that was really good. I think they may have even got him on a free from Real Madrid, something like that, which is a good one. A lot was made. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about individual players, aren't I? There, we'll do that in a minute. They'll be as a club, they'll be wanting to do more than they currently are, because some of their previous purchases, they spent 40-50 million on players that are not really producing 40-50 million pound performances in the Premier League. They started the season remarkably well, where people thought maybe they were going to challenge for the top four, certainly. But they've had dips, they've had ups and downs. But all in all, a healthy football club, Geo. I believe that the work has possibly even started on a new stadium, which is going to be bittersweet for them. But I do think it's going to be an excellent stadium. But obviously, Goodison Park is iconic and one of the last few proper old football stadiums left. But all in all, a good club with a healthy future, mate.
Did you expect better from them this season?
Yeah, I did. Ancelotti's it's a big signing in terms of getting a manager in and the players that they brought in. As I say, they seem to have spent 40-50 million a lot. A few, Iwobi maybe, Sigurdsson. There's more. I know there's more. Richarlison was 50 million, I think, as well. So you sort of want, if you've got that sort of money to splash out, I think you'd probably find that at least three of their signings are more than our record signing has ever been. I think you'll find there's something like that anyway. Got a good goalkeeper, good coach. Yeah, but I think they'll get there, Gio. But yeah, it's been, bearing in mind how they started, I think they'll be a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, for some reason I expected a bit better from them this season, but looking at it, I think they've had a pretty solid season, certainly moving in the right direction. They've been a bit unfortunate with some key injuries at key times of the season, a few individual errors as well throughout hasn't helped. There's not points off the tally. When I watched them, they're almost like a Jekyll and Hyde team this season. When I watched them some games, I thought they'd been brilliant. I thought this is a really good Everton team in the making here. They've knocked the ball about well. Defensively, they're pretty solid. Then there's other games I've watched them. They're just a bit flat. They're just lacking that little bit of sparkle there. And I think they've got 8 maybe real good players in that starting 11, but the 3 that they don't have, the 3 positions they don't have, tend to let them down. And sometimes I think it's the centre midfielder next to Alan they're missing, whether it's Andre Gomez hasn't quite lived up to his loan spell, although he did have that horrible injury which has impacted him. I just don't think they've got them as centre midfielder there. Decore's done okay, but he's been injured for a large part of the season as well. And I just expected a little bit more from Everton this year. Although saying that, I think it's been a pretty solid season, moving in the right direction, and with a strong end to the season, a few results going their way, and they can still get European football. They can still very much get European football. But fingers crossed, we are going to sort of stop that on Sunday, or at least make it very unlikely. But do you expect them to be even better next season?
Yeah, but I think everybody else is going to be better as well. So just looking at the league table now, they are 5 points ahead of Leeds. I think Leeds will be better next season. Wolves will be better next season. Arsenal will certainly be better next season. Liverpool, Tottenham certainly will. So incrementally, even if they improve, are they going to improve as much as those other clubs? I mean, you'd even say Chelsea will be better, Man United will be better. Almost everybody, with probably the exception of Man City, who've been excellent, is going to be better next season. So being better next season, it's going to be hard in the Premier League to get in the top 10 next season, I think. Yeah,
I think so. I think they've got a tough task ahead of them. At the minute, it's 8th in the league. I think that's probably their true position, if you like, given their squad available to them. The team that you didn't mention, I expect to be better and competing with Everton next season is Villa. They're the ones that I look at and think that they're on similar levels at the minute, kind of thing. Also going after Max Aarons, I believe, and it looks like their number 1 target for the summer would sort of replace Seamus Coleman. And while it's a small upgrade, they're upgrading a position that's like already well looked after with Seamus Coleman there, kind of thing. I don't think it's a game changer getting Max Aarons. It's going to cost big money though, and he will be their right back for a long time. He'll be an excellent signing, but I just think they need a little bit more. And I'm not sure they're going to get that, and you do wonder. I had reservations with Ancelotti going to Everton, not so much Ancelotti the manager, more Ancelotti the man that will stay for a long time and build a project and kind of thing. And he's done better than I expected, to be honest with you. But I do still have reservation whether he's here for a long, long time kind of thing, or if it'll lead anywhere. Hope it does. I quite like Everton, actually. I've got nothing against them. I like their ground. I like the team. I like the fan base. I think they're an excellent club. So they've got a lot going for them. But they need a strong end to the season. I'm just hoping that Sunday we can just almost finish their season for them a little bit and say, right, that's it. Time to pack up. Let your players that's gone off to the Euros worry about the Euros now, because that's it. Your season's finished now. Players you admire from Everton, please.
Well, just while we're on the subject of the right back, I haven't ruled out Joe Kenny being a player. Whenever I've seen him play, I think he looks fantastic. I thought every inch the replacement for Seamus Coleman, and they went out on loan. I mean, it's a continent somewhere, can't remember where, but very, very good player. Whenever I've seen him for the youth team, the England under-21s, that sort of thing, looked like the best young right back around.
Ancelotti don't fancy him, though. He'd rather play Ben Godfrey at right back than put in
it's a strange one. It's a strange one. But anyway, so he's a good player. Obviously, they've got they've got a very, very good left back, excellent left back. Calvert-Lewin is an impressive player, an impressive human being. I think he'll always do well because he's clearly bright. He's very focused, and just hear the way he talks about other strikers, the way he talks about Harry Kane and how he watches Harry Kane and England training this, that, and the other. You just get the impression there's a player there who's going to carry on getting better and better. I'll leave one player to you, who I know you're going to you'll talk about, because you always do. I say Godfrey, he's been all right. I think in many respects, they lost to Villa, didn't they? That's it. They played Godfrey and Holgate in the centre. I don't think that's the best defensive partnership in the world. Very good goalkeeper in Pickford. Very, very good goalkeeper, but he is also prone to a lapse, isn't he? Sorry, I've not really mentioned that many I like. Yerry Mina, he should be better than he actually is. I think there's a lot. I think they've got a lot of those. Gio, I'm looking at their squad here, and there's a lot of them who should be playing better than they actually do.
Yeah, I'm not too. I can kind of go along with that. Alan, I thought when they signed him this summer, I thought, wow, that's a signing that went under the radar. I didn't think it got as much coverage as it deserved. I think the headlines were taken by the likes of Liverpool signing Thiago and all that we sort of left that one to one side. And I think he's had an up and down season. He's not been as good as I thought, but some games I've watched, he's dominating the midfield. He's controlled the tempo of the game, broke everything up kind of thing. But there's other games I've watched, I feel like he's lost his head and he's just not really imposing himself a little bit. And it's been a strange move. It's been a good signing for him, but just not quite as good as I expected, which fits in with the theme that you were saying and how we feel Everton's season's gone so far. I know you've left me with Charlison. He's one of my favourite players in the league. I just love him. I think he's just got everything I would like in a footballer. He's fast, he's direct, he can score goals, he can set goals up, and he's got that little bit of aggression. Some people sort of dismiss it and the pundits speak about it as if it's a bad thing, but it doesn't bother me at all. I like a player that's got a little bit of something between their teeth, and if a team is trying to physically impose themselves on Everton, his players like him will actually say, actually, I'm not having this, and then he'll give something a little bit back. And yes, okay, his discipline record isn't perfect, but it's not that bad. He doesn't really get sent off that much or kind of thing. When you watch him in games, and sometimes he does look like he's going to get sent up. He never really does. So he does have that. He knows his limit. He might this upcoming game, to be fair. Yeah,
because he won't like being roughed up.
No, I think Ben Godfrey is going to be a top player for Everton as well. He was good at Norwich, and then he's gone to Everton. He's played all along the back four. But that's a good thing, because it just shows that Ancelotti trusts him and says, I know you can play right back. I know you can play left back. I think he's had a good season. He's probably one of the best tacklers in the Premier League, which is a really weird thing to say. But I think he's brilliant. And Lucas Dean as well is one of my favourite left backs. But lots of good players at Everton. I think they've got a good foundation there. They've got a good manager. There's no doubt about that. I just think it just needs moulded. Likes of Sigurdsson, not quite doing it for me. Andre Gomez, Tom Davies, I just don't really think is that great. Seamus Coleman's getting on a bit, although Max Aarons thing kind of thing. But they do have a spine to that team of players that are the right age, mid-20s, that a couple of decent signings and they can become a very good team pretty much overnight. But anyway, enough about Everton. Time to talk about West Ham, Gonzo. So the team news is we don't really know much. There's a lot of rumours, as there has been the last couple of games. Could Masuaku be back? We don't know. Could Declan Rice be back? We don't know. Could Ogbonna be back? We don't know. Now let's assume they're all out for a second, Gonzo. Would you stick with the same 11 that defeated Burnley?
If everybody was out, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
yes,
now let's mix it up. If Ogbonna was back, what would you do with the back four?
I'd drop Diop.
Would you?
Yeah.
See, I think Ogbonna has to go back in for me, but I don't know which one I'd drop. I'm in two minds over this because I think because of Richarlison's pace and that, I think I'd be looking to keep Diop in there. But because Calvert-Lewin's so good in the air, it's like, well, I think I'd probably rather have Craig Dawson in there for that one. So it swings and roundabouts. Well, you could play back three if Masuaku's fit, but it swings and roundabouts a little bit. I think Ogbonna does go straight back in. If Masuaku was fit, however, would you leave him on the bench and keep the formation the same?
I definitely would. Yeah, I think that was. I thought we played scintillating football actually, and they're unlikely, I guess, Everton to play three at the back. They're probably going to play with a four. So I would probably stick with it, Gio.
And this is where it gets interesting. If Declan Rice was back, this is where it gets tricky because obviously he's a centre midfielder by trade, and that's what we've been playing him in. Arguably, our man of match was Manuel Lanzini's replacement. Thomas Souček's in there. Would you put Rice straight back in, or would you sort of wrap him up in cotton wool and leave him on the bench? Or if you do put him in, who are you putting him in for? This is a big call Moyes has got to make, and one that could win us the game, or I think lose us the game if I do say so.
Yeah, I would put Declan back in because and whoever you're dropping, you're going to be dropping somebody that played really well against Burnley and arguably wouldn't deserve to be dropped. But Rice is probably our best player, and certainly if we were to sell everyone at the moment, it would be Rice that got the most money. He is nailed on for England. He comes on Emma's chat as well, which is another reason to put him in the team, Gio. And he's also the captain. And I think Cresswell did nothing wrong, of course, and it was great to have Cresswell back. But there's also that partnership. I think you get an even better Souček when Rice is playing. Your question, and I thought I should know the answer because it's not like I haven't thought about it. It's not like you've asked me a surprise question there. There's reasons not to drop any of them. It's a
50-50, isn't it? It's a 50-50. I think it's between Lanzini and Benrahma. I think it's between them personally, and I think a lot of people will disagree. Some will pick one, some will pick the other. Yeah. I think some will pick the other option, which is leave Declan Rice on the bench because you don't change a winning team. How fit is he? This, that, and the other.
Well, that is a consideration. Look, I would only assume if you'd have said to me before the Burnley game, should we put Mikel Antonio in, I would have said, well, he's clearly not fit. He probably needs to come off the bench or whatever. But he was fit. So I would assume if Declan Rice is ready, he'll be fit and ready to play because clearly the training that they're doing to get them up to match pace works. I think whoever you do drop, you demotivate a little bit. You know, I think Benrahma, if you drop him, what are you really saying to him? You've played really well there, mate, but you sort of dropped again. Lanzini, well, he scored the winner against Tottenham and he was dropped afterwards. So and he wouldn't have felt that he should have been dropped after that. Wasn't the winner actually, was it? It was the draw. But you know what I'm saying? I feel if you dropped him here, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose Lanzini. And I'll tell you why, Gio. Because if you drop Benrahma and you keep Lanzini's going to play central and he'll push Fornals over to the left. And if it's someone to play on the left, I probably would pick Benrahma there. Tough one. Very tough one.
Yeah, I think what we want and what we're going to get is two different things with Declan Rice is fit. I agree with your back four. I put Ogbonna in. I wouldn't put Masuaku in regardless if he's fit or not. Although, excellent option to have on the bench. Means we can change the shape if we need to, kind of thing. But with the Declan Rice thing, he goes straight back in as far as I'm concerned because he was an injury. It's one of our most important players. And Everton are different. Everton are not Burnley. No. Burnley are physical. Burnley will knock the ball over. Burnley basically played the ball over Lanzini's head constantly. And it was sort of Souček, you get back and head it, you protect the back four, sorted. Lanzini had a relatively easy job to do against Burnley, which was get the ball and pass it. And he was up against the Burnley side that would concede 15, 20 yards of the pitch where Lanzini likes to play in. Burnley were happy to drop back into the edge of 18-yard and say, you have it on the halfway line. Lanzini thought, I'll have it on the halfway line, thank you very much. And I just thought it was an easy game for Lanzini to stand out in. And that's not poo-pooing his performance. I gave him man of the match, thought he was excellent. But he's the one I would be dropping for Everton as well, because if we do, I think what Moyes will do is drop Benrahma. I think Moyes will drop Benrahma, and I think he'll put Lanzini left wing and keep the rest of it. I think that's what he'll do. And I think that's a mistake, because Lanzini played well centre midfield. Yeah. Lanzini did not play well left wing, right wing, attacking midfield. He didn't do that. Plus, we were impressed by the link-up play between Lingard, Fornals, Benrahma, Antonio at times. So why would you disrupt that? You want to have least disruption as possible. And I think taking Lanzini out and putting Rice in will cause a little bit of disruption. You won't quite have that free-flowing football coming from the middle of the park. You'll have to start a little bit further up. But Rice isn't poor on the ball. Rice isn't a poor passer. He isn't a poor dribbler. If anything, he's got better at both of those things as the season's gone on, kind of thing. And I just think it sounds harsh, but it's a no-brainer to me to put Rice in for Lanzini. It is a no-brainer. You keep that front four the same. You put Rice in. You get better defensively when you do that. You will lose a little something that Lanzini had in there, but I think you gain a whole lot more. And it is harsh on Lanzini. Doesn't he deserve to be dropped? Absolutely not. If Declan Rice is fit, Gonzo, what do you think David Moyes is going to do? Not what you want to see. I want a prediction from you. My prediction is Benrahma out, Rice in, Lanzini moves up the pitch.
I think David Moyes will start with the same team that started against Burnley.
With Rice on the bench?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Obviously not what I would do, not what you would do, but I think he will. That's
an interesting call. Right, anyway, 4 cup finals, Gonzo. This is cup final. Mate. We've had quite a few cup finals this season.
We would have been happy with just one, Geo, and we got plenty.
But this one's huge significance as far as I'm concerned. I think if we win this, we get European football. Mathematically, we don't. But it would take a lot of results going our way, or going against us, going for Everton in order for them to go ahead of us by the end of the season. I think if we win on Sunday, we finish 7th minimum, worst case scenario. What an achievement that would be with 3 games to go. I know, like I said, it may all backfire. We could still finish 8th, but I just don't think we will.
No. I'm looking at teams. Gee, I read the teams out earlier when it said about Everton next season, and we're above Arsenal, you know. I mean, they're a fantastic football team. They buy lots of players. They've got a manager that's held in high esteem. It's actually amazing what we've done this year. It's sensational. This is Moyes back to doing what he was doing at Everton. But the difference is now that there are now more clubs capable than when he was at Everton. You know, mate, I would argue for a lot of Moyes' tenure at Everton, he was trying to break into a top 4. Tottenham are a different proposition now. Tottenham have got a big stadium. They've got big money. Some world-class players. I think Tottenham have got at least 3 world-class players, right? At least 3. That wasn't the case. He wasn't having to really beat Tottenham. Man City this is Man City under Pep Guardiola, not as they were before, you know. So actually what Moyes is doing now to sort of repeat what he was doing at Everton is almost even more impressive. So it has been a tremendous season. And the thing is, I'm not writing the obituaries yet. We got some to go, mate. We have got some to go. This, you know, it's exciting. It's what we wanted, mate. You know what? We're not, I don't know, I look who's in the middle, but we're not actually Wolves. We're not Wolves this season they're just going to play out the remaining fixtures. We got every game to look forward to right until the end of the season. We retain interest.
Yeah, and the best thing is on Saturday, I say the best thing, possibly the best thing is on Saturday, Man City play Chelsea. If Man City can do us a favour and we beat Everton, we got equal points with Chelsea in 4th as well, heading into the last 3 fixtures of the season, knowing that Chelsea have to play Leicester City as well. So it would be huge for us, absolutely massive for us, if City could win, going into the game against Everton, knowing a win, which is equal points with 4th in the league, with 3 games to go, 270 minutes of football. All we have to do is win. I say all we have to do is win 3 games.
That's right.
Win 3 games against Brighton, West Brom and Southampton and hope just one team gets something against Chelsea in their remaining 3 fixtures. Just one team gets a draw, and that'll be enough. Obviously, we need Villarreal to do us a massive favour and put Arsenal at the Europa League Cup to get rid of that nightmare scenario, which is getting more and more likely with every week that passes. And I'm not going to lie, it's starting to scare me quite a lot.
I actually had it on. I had it on the telly last night, and and he, Werner scored, didn't he? I thought, oh no, and then he was saying, the commentator was saying, it doesn't look like Real Madrid are going to be able to break through. No, break through. Bad news.
They look good though, Chelsea, don't they? They look.
Yeah.
They look like a different animal.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I wish it was another team that we were sort of trying to catch in the top 4 race kind of thing, and not Chelsea. I mean, there is every chance we catch Leicester. We need a couple of teams to do us a favour, and the mental thing is to catch Leicester, we will need Chelsea to beat them, which means we will not get, that fixture could be massive for West Ham. Back to our fixture, back to our game on Sunday against Everton. Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I am. I think we've got a. I don't know. I just do. I feel we've got momentum. I know we've lost 2 games before this, but it feels like momentum. Feels like the players are, I was going to say coming back at the right time. No, the right time was for them not to get injured at all. And then I don't think we'd be in this position. But it feels Antonio's vital. We've not really discussed him. It's vital. And he's back, hopefully, unless something's happened. Rice being there, hopefully, Ogbonna, with Cresswell back as well. This is really, really good news. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Rice comes back, Souček gets back on the old scoring charts as well. Really, and we have Lingard as well, which we've not really spoken about him, for the past few days.
He needs big performances, Jesse. He's in danger of losing his Euro spot, I think.
I don't think he is, because they're allowed to take 26 players now.
I know, but I still think there's 1 or 2 other players that he's got to watch, because James Maddison will be looking at the last squad thinking, I need to nick Jesse Lingard's spot. That's the spot I need to go get. And I think he needs he's been quiet in 2 or 3 games now, Jesse. I think he needs a couple of man-of-the-match performances between now and the end of the season.
I think you'll get one. I think you'll get one as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him score against Everton, not at all. But I am confident. And of recent times, wasn't the case when I was a kid. Actually, Everton were our bogey team, really were. I think Neville Southall in goal. Honestly, he's doing my head in. And then they stole Tony Cottee. But we've got a bad record against them in recent times. So I am reluctantly confident.
I'm quite confident too. It's quite scary, actually. I think I feel like Burnley more. For some reason, going into the Burnley game, I think it's because we were coming off the back of 2 defeats as well, and they just thumped Wolves, and we know Chris Wood was going to score, and he did go and score. We had a few injuries. We didn't know if there was players coming back at the time. But coming into this one, we know Chris was back. We know Antonio's back. Antonio, I've always thought, has this arrogant streak in him, which, again, I do not think is a bad thing. It's a bit like Richarlison. I think Richarlison's got that arrogance in him too. Antonio's 2 goals away from equaling Di Canio's all-time Premier League goal scorer record. He will want that record before the end of the season. Antonio will look at that and think, I want that just as much as I want Champions League. And so he should. I know some players play it down and say, it's about the team winning, and it is. But you know something? There's nothing wrong with a player wanting to win personal awards as well. I think it's perfectly natural sometimes. Why would you not want to do it? So Antonio will be very much looking at that count, thinking about it. When Rice came on the review, we sort of mentioned to him, and he said, we've been speaking about it in training. So it's clearly a topic of conversation that Antonio's going to catch Di Canio. He's 2 goals away from it. He'll be itching to get that. The top goal scorer at the club at the minute is up for grabs. So you've got Antonio, Souček, Lingard, them 3 in the running. Bowen's not too far behind them either, but those 3 will be trying to become top goal scorer in the league at the minute. 2 of them are on 9 and 1's on 8. Can't remember which way around it is, but I think Antonio and Souček on 9 and Lingard's on 8 goals for the season. They'll be wanting to finish top goal scorer at the club. I think Benrahma is itching to get his first goal. I think we've got a lot of players with personal achievements up for grabs as well as what West Ham United can achieve as a football club. Now going into this one confident, I think Everton's season's not over yet. This is their cup final. It's our cup final too, but Everton very much know if they win, European football's on the cards for them. It'll be a tough ask for them. They'll have to they might even be trying to catch a team that's not West Ham. They might be looking at Tottenham thinking we can catch them, actually. We can actually go and get them if we beat West Ham. But should they fail to win on Sunday, their season's not over. But I wouldn't want... Fans are looking forward to going back to the last game of the season. We now know where we're going to go. There's fans buzzing for the West Ham fans will be buzzing for the Southampton game because there will be something to play for. There will be a celebration at the end of it. Everton fans are going to go back to finishing 8th or 9th. Well, it's good to be back at the football. I think that will be the feeling. Whereas West Ham fans will be going back in, celebrating, hoping for European football kind of thing. And I just think it's a completely different mindset. And I'm just confident going into this one. And the fact that the players are trying to get back fit as well. I don't think Creswell and Antonio were 100% fit, but I think they were 100% determined to be fit enough to participate in the game. I think we'll see that this weekend with Rice, Sogbonna, Masuaku possibly. And we could add those 3 players to the squad that we had on Monday. The first 11 would be tasty, but the bench would then consist of Diop, possibly Masuaku, Lanzini, maybe Mark Noble. We haven't even spoken about Mark Noble yet. Mark Noble could be back as well. We could have a very, very tasty bench there as well in order to change the game. I'm feeling really confident for Sunday, Gonzo. I don't see anything other than a West Ham win, which is a bit dangerous.
Yeah,
but,
it is. That's how you feel, mate. Absolutely.
It is. I just think you get that feeling that this is our year. And sometimes when you're expecting it to go wrong, it just doesn't. I was speaking to a Liverpool fan during the week, and I don't know him. It was something to do with sponsorship or whatever. And he was saying he's a Liverpool fan. And he just said, I hope you boys get it, actually. He said, we don't deserve it. He said, I'm not like all Liverpool fans. He said, we don't deserve Champions League football. We've not been good enough. He said, I actually want to see West Ham going. And I was saying to him, even after 25 games this season, we were thinking, at some point, we're going to slip down the league. At some point, it's going to disappear. Well, I've stopped feeling like that kind of thing. I think, actually, no, we're here to stay. We might not get Champions League football, but I think we'll get Europa League football. I think we'll win on Sunday. Can I get any final words from yourself, please, Gonzo, followed by your all-important score prediction?
Sure, yeah. I think it's going to be a massive boost. Anyone that comes back, it's going to be a boost for the squad. It's not just us in a build-up show, which is, 3:25 on Sunday, I think, possibly a build-up show. It's not just us getting excited about it. The players will be, if once they know, Ogbonna's back, or Declan Rice is back, or whatever it might be. That's a really good thing. So I think that's important. In terms of, I think we'll win. And I think it might be the same scoreline as against Burnley, actually. Albeit it might seem a little bit more squeaky bum at times. But I'm going for a West Ham 2-1 win.
I remember this reverse fixture around about the Christmas time period. We had a lot of games. I think Everton had a game postponed due to COVID before. I think it was maybe the Villa game. I think Villa had players out, so the Everton game was postponed. It was not Everton's fault for that. And they went into it a little bit fresher than us. And I think we even rotated 1 or 2 players. And I remember thinking, this could be where it catches up with us. And we scored in the very last minute. Souček scored that sort of knock-in at the back post. I think it was in the last minute anyway. But it was a 1-0 win, and it was one of my favourite wins this season because I thought we had everything about us that game.
I remember you saying, Gio, they looked like the team that had fixture congestion, not us.
Yeah, because we were fitter than them. We were covering the ground. We were so disciplined, very well organised, and we almost like David Moyes. We did an Everton David Moyes to Everton without David Moyes, using West Ham David Moyes. It was just thoroughly enjoyable, and I think we're going to see something similar again on Sunday. I think Moyes had his tactics bang on when we played at Goodison Park, and I would expect him to just replicate them really at the London Stadium. And I just think, while I've been watching Everton over the few months, and I do watch a bit of Everton, I do like them. I do think they're a bit of a soft touch sometimes. You've got 1 or 2 players in there that are a little bit menacing, but I just think there's too many players in there, like Iwobi and Sigurdsson and Andre Gomez. Actually, you can almost bully them to an extent. I think that's what we'll do on Sunday. I think we will just want it. Do you remember after Burnley, I said I just felt that we wanted that more?
Yeah.
I think we're going to get the same vibe again on Sunday. I think we're just going to want it more. Or we might not, but I think we'll demonstrate that on the pitch. So I'm going to agree with your scoreline. I'm going to say West Ham 2, Everton 1. And as Gonzo said, 3:25, we are live on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. Pop along on Sunday. We'll be looking at the team lineups. We'll be doing our little bet giveaway as well, and hopefully getting ready for a massive 3 points for West Ham, and also finding out if the likes of Declan Rice and Arthur Masuaku are back. But anyway, Gonzo, I shall see you on Sunday.
Yeah, can't wait, mate.
If you enjoyed the preview, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you in a bit.